Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Ritz, and today I'm joined here with
Friends.
So, as you read by the title, I'm sure a lot of you guys are really excited for this video. Ever since me and Rez done our first ever video like 1.5 years ago of the husband and wife tag, a lot of you guys have been requesting that you want to see this video. So it's finally time for us to do the how we met video. I can't believe we're doing this video. I feel so nervous, but I feel like, oh my god, it's like finally happening. Like, this isn't
I feel nervous because family watch our vlogs and no one really knows how we actually met and stuff.
It's finally time to do this video, and we're just finding like the right time to do it. And a lot of you guys have been asking like, why don't you do the video? So today you're gonna find out why we didn't do the video. So first of all, I want to start by saying, a lot of people always say like, you guys are normalizing like relationships before you get married and things like that. We're not here advising people to do this. We're not here trying to normalize like haram relationships outside of marriage. We're just here to tell our stories. If you're easily influenced or offended, then I guess this maybe isn't the video for you. So maybe click off and watch another video, because this is gonna be really deep. It's gonna be 2 parts. We're not gonna do the typical like how we met 10 minutes later finish, and we're gonna go into depth about everything we went through, how we struggled, because a lot of people always say like, how did you guys know each other for like 4 years and you guys didn't get married? Like, you guys will see what we went through in them years and everything like that. So we're gonna get into all the little details. So are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Please don't judge us.
it's really personal. That's why we didn't really want to do this for so long. But you guys, as you're watching, you will realize like we done a lot of things to get married quicker, and you guys will find out all the details, I guess. Because this was like nearly 6 years ago, or like 5.5 years ago, we actually sat down and we wrote down a lot of notes and things like that, because we didn't want to miss out anything. And then later when I'm editing, I'll be like, oh, I should have said this, or I should have said that. So this might be a really long video, so we're going to split into 2 parts. You guys ready? So a lot of people lie. They say they met in uni and they met in college and things like that. Okay, so I actually met Rez through her cousins. When I was younger, I used to have Facebook, and then I switched over to Twitter. I used to have a Twitter account with like not many followers. I used to like to post quotes and things like that. If you guys watch other videos, you know that I used to go through some things. I used to feel a lot of lowness. If you guys watched like our last mukbang video, I talked about that. But I used to go through a lot back then. I used to have this little quote account where I used to just post like quotes, inspirational quotes, quotes to uplift and things like that. We actually met through Rez's cousin. So I actually like, I had a Twitter account with some quotes, and then Rez's cousin popped up to me, and we were just kind of like, she was like a friend. I wasn't like, I don't want to say like older or younger or anything like that, but yeah, we met through Twitter. We're literally just like friends, nothing more. Kind of just like a brother and sister kind of bond, isn't it? And I didn't think anything more of it. And then we're gonna go through the details. I'm trying to get it from the back of my head. Rez's cousin, she used to sometimes tell Rez about me, because I used to go through so many like, I used to go through some like sort of like depression phase and like a lot of sadness and things like that. Nothing was really going on in my life. I just felt like that. So I used to actually just tell her things, not knowing that she's telling Rez these things as well.
She never used to tell me everything, just like little details, because obviously like when she used to come around and like chill and stuff, like we'd talk about these things, and like she does sometimes mention him, but I wouldn't know who she's talking about, because to me it's just some guy that, you know, is on Twitter. I didn't even like, she didn't even know how I looked or anything like that. I didn't have any picture. So one day Rez's cousin showed a picture of a boy to Rez. That time I wasn't like the only person she talked to, so that there was like a few boys. So Rez's cousin showed a picture to Rez of like another boy. Rez thought she was talking about me basically. So like the boy, the depression boy and things like that, the sad boy that's always sad. She thought she was talking about me, and then what happened? I never used to have any social media. The only thing I ever had was Snapchat, and this was, I just newly made it as well, like I didn't have it for too long. She showed me a picture, and it was just a guy with a hood on. You can't see his face, nothing. And I started joking, saying, wow, he's so good looking, let me give my dad's number to him, as a joke. It was just like, you know how you joke with cousins. It was just a complete joke. And then she's like, oh, why don't you add him on Snapchat? I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't think, oh, okay, it's a boy, let me add him on Snapchat kind of thing. It was just like, oh, okay, new friends, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, you don't really think anything of it like that. So I said yes, okay. And then so we added each other on Snapchat.
She asked me. I said, okay, whatever.
Yeah, we both said like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, we didn't think anything of it. We didn't think like, you know,
ooh, a girl, or ooh, a boy.
Like, oh, let's check them out. We did not think that at all. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, we added each other on Snapchat.
After we added each other on Snapchat, obviously to me it's just like, this is this person's cousin. I'm not thinking of like anything of it. It's just like, okay, whatever, it's nothing serious. So I wasn't thinking anything. At that point, I wasn't talking to anyone in my life. It was just like, kind of just like, I'm living my own life, just trying to survive every day to day.
Yeah, I was not interested in any boys. Like, I never used to, okay, I don't want to like hype myself up, but like, you know, I would like, I never, like, he's the only boy that I've ever like spoken to out of will. Like, I've never like, you know how like boys pop up but I never used to really reply to them or anything like that. I would never like speak to boys, and that was the same with him.
At that point in my life,
yeah,
it was just like, I don't care about anything. I just want to live my life. And why am I thinking about anything anyway? I'm like 16 at that point.
Yeah,
I messaged her for the first few days, just kind of like, hi, like that's like the basic things that you do say at that age, just like boring conversation. I'm just speaking, I'm thinking I'm speaking to Rez, but I was actually speaking to Rez's cousin. So Rez's cousin was actually on Rez's Snapchat, and I was talking to Rez's cousin the first day, thinking that I'm speaking to Rez. But the next day Rez comes and she says, hi, it's finally me now, Rez. And I'm thinking in my head like, so who the hell did I speak to yesterday? So I figured it out. Like, I wasn't speaking to Rez for a whole day. It was just her cousin pretending to be Rez.
My cousin wanted to speak to him and pretend to be me, just to see like what he gets up to, what he says and stuff, to see if he goes flirty or anything like that. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, I literally did not care, because I didn't with the intention of, oh, let me speak to this guy and let's see what he gets up to and stuff. So to me it was just like, oh yeah, whatever, that'll be funny, let's see what he says. Because my cousin and him, they were like good friends at that time. They spoke like almost every day. Yeah, so like they knew each other, whereas me and him didn't know each other. So like for her, it would be funny to do that to him. Like, if he found out, oh, it was her all that time, he would laugh, not get like things. So it wasn't in an evil way, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you were young at that time as well.
Yeah.
So after I spoke,
15.
Yeah, so I spoke to Rez for like 2 weeks and we became really good friends. Like, we were just talking for like 2 weeks. I don't know what the hell we were talking about.
Just random stuff.
You know, when you're like 15, 16, you're just like, hi, hello, what are you doing? Kind of thing. It's just like really like basic, like you don't really know what you're talking about.
We didn't speak with the intention of, well, let's talk about our lives though. We just spoke, but then like it was so like, it started flowing, and like,
yeah, it's really
just
smooth.
Naturally just talking to each other, like we knew each other for like years or something. It was really weird.
We were speaking for 2 weeks and then I realized that I don't really, like, everything was going smooth, but I felt like at that point I didn't speak to anyone in my life. It was kind of just like it felt like not a chore, but it felt like a responsibility. Like, I don't want to have the responsibility to carry out this or carry out a conversation every day, and like I felt like it was like becoming like something that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to speak to anyone anyway. I kind of just like enjoyed talking to myself, not talking to myself, but like I kind of just enjoyed being on my own, and I was just that type of person my whole life. At that point I didn't really think Rez was my type. I kind of just cut her off, and I think I told you like we're cutting each other off, or I told Rez's cousin.
No, the first ever time.
Okay.
So we were speaking, and actually I like I said in the last video, I actually started liking him like 2-3 days into speaking. Like I started feeling a really strong connection, and I don't think it was just me, I think it was him too, but like
I didn't want that.
He didn't want to accept it, basically, but I did. I accepted the fact that I, you know, had some sort of thing for this guy somehow, even though I'm not that type of person. You did as well, but you just really didn't want to accept it, because you were such a alone person. You wanted to, like, you didn't want business in that area. I just like being by myself. Kind of like, it felt like a chore, kind of like a responsibility that, like, you know, this isn't going to lead to anything. We're just like 15, 16, so I kind of didn't want to do it, so we cut each other off at that point. And then so I spoke to Rez's cousin and I told her like I want to block her off, and then she said okay, just do it. It was also because Rez's cousin, she kept telling me stories about Rez, so I didn't know anything about Rez. I didn't know anything about her life, and me and Rez, we grew up in completely different childhoods. She went through a lot of things that I never had to see, and there was a lot that Rez went through that I never heard in my life. So Rez didn't, obviously she's not going to tell me about that. We literally just met, and I'm not like talking to you, trying to deep into your life. I didn't even know that stuff happened. So Rez's cousin, she kept telling me things about Rez, like this is what happens in a house, like this is what happens, blah blah blah. I don't want to go into the details, but then it's kind of like putting me off, kind of thing, like no, don't talk to her, like guys aren't gonna work, and you know, she goes through a lot of things, and you know, you don't want to deal with that, basically, kind of thing. And obviously me being 16, not having any stress, not having any family related
problems, not seeing anything like that in my life. I was kind of just like, okay, yeah, maybe it's not gonna work. I don't feel like this is gonna work, especially hearing the things that I heard.
My cousin didn't know that we were speaking in them 2 weeks, by the way. So once she found out, she started
panicking.
Yeah, panicking. And then she started saying like stories about me to him. To
put me off, basically.
Yeah.
What happened next is basically she started bringing up the fact that, you know, it's haram, and basically haram means like you shouldn't be doing it in religion. So basically we shouldn't be talking anyway because we're not married and things like that. Obviously we're 15 and 16, marriages isn't even in the question at that time. So that's what she was telling us. But Rez's cousin wanted to basically speak to me, but she didn't want us. So she didn't want us speaking, but she wanted her and me to speak, basically. She didn't want me and Rez to speak. So
she obviously could see that it was going somewhere.
Yeah, so obviously both of them are wrong. Me and her shouldn't be speaking, and me and you shouldn't be speaking, but she kept bringing out the fact that we like each other kind of thing, so we shouldn't be speaking kind of thing. So that's like basically the point that she brought forward for us, for me to go forward and block her, which I was thinking of anyway after the stuff that she was telling me.
Basically, I know we used to pray and stuff as well, so when he says that I wasn't his type, he means like characteristic wise. Like, I was not like someone that he wanted to be with long term, so that's why he blocked me as well. Like, so it wasn't just the stories that he heard, they put him off, but it was also because like there's a lot of things that didn't tick your box kind of thing. When he cut me off without saying anything to me, I was really mad at him because we were literally just casually talking and then you just cut me off without saying anything to me. But my cousin knew the whole story, but like I didn't know what was going on.
Basically Rez's cousin was in the middle, so like I'll talk to Rez's cousin rather than go from me to her. I would go to Rez's cousin would cut it off and not let it get any forward, basically, kind of thing.
After he cut me off, my cousin came forward and then explained to me like, oh, it's because you didn't pray and stuff, and like you're just not his type. Like she didn't tell me anything.
The stuff that she said.
She said to him, I didn't know that was even being said. We only found this out after after a whole year, maybe.
After like, the communication happened.
We'll get to that point. But so after he cut me off, I got really angry, thinking like, how can you speak to me so casually and then suddenly just cut me off without any explanation? So I started hating him, and then at that point I started praying, but I didn't pray because I wanted to. Yeah,
she was kind of just show me like what she can be.
Like basically. And it's really bad, I know, but alhamdulillah, that's actually how I started praying. Then like slowly I started watching Islamic videos and stuff, I started listening to nasheeds. Then I realized that I shouldn't be praying because I want to impress this person. I should be praying for like Allah, and for myself. Like I shouldn't be praying to impress someone else. So I actually started praying for the right reasons, and I slowly started to like try to forget about him. And then my cousin, she updated him saying, oh, she prays and stuff now, remember that?
Yeah, so basically, what happened? My lip's bleeding?
Yeah.
My lip's bleeding?
It's not bleeding.
Oh, there's nothing there.
I didn't see that before, what the hell did you...
leave it.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
Your cousin updated you?
Yeah, my cousin updated him. I didn't know, I didn't tell her to or anything. Like at that point in my life, I was just focusing on myself, on praying and stuff, and improving myself. I hated you, but I tried to forget about you kind of thing, but I hated you, and like you were still there for me, like basically. But like whenever my cousin tried to speak about him, I'd tell her like, don't speak about him to me, like I don't want to know anything, like, you know, I don't care. But I did obviously care, like you can't just forget. Like with him, I've always like been like attached. I've always felt like I've known him for 1,000 years. So it used to really annoy me when she used to speak about him to me, and she used to update him slightly about me. I didn't know this, and then
update me on you
about me. Yeah, remember?
And the other way around. She
tried
about
to.
Me. You didn't allow her.
Yeah, but I didn't allow her because I didn't want to even hear about him. Basically, I hated his guts at that point.
I saw that Rez is improving as a person and things like that. Maybe like she was becoming my type.
What do you think though?
I just thought at that point I was really like praying, I was on point and things like that, and I thought like I can't marry someone that doesn't pray, or I can't talk to someone who's like not serious in that kind of field, you know. So I was thinking like, obviously not knowing like a person can improve, I wasn't really thinking like that. It's kind of like, I don't know what the hell was going through my head basically. But as I saw Rez was improving and she was like becoming better as a person, I thought maybe I like her a little bit. So I thought I'd ask Rez's cousin like,
you liked me throughout, but you just didn't like accept it basically.
Yeah, I'll slowly,
you'd never be able to speak to me again.
Yeah, so I think I was slowly coming to terms with it, kind of accepting it, and I was just like, maybe I was wrong for just kind of, then I kind of like felt bad, so I was just like, asked Rez's cousin, like, can I add her back? She said okay, I don't know why, but she said okay, and then me and Rez started speaking again.
You added me back on Snapchat. My cousin said, oh, he wants to add you again. I was like, why now? And then obviously I didn't know, my cousin's been updating him about me and he changed his mind. I didn't know any of that, and then he added me, and then I was blunt with him for a few days, and then I felt bad, so I started replying back properly, and then we actually started speaking. My cousin like was like, oh, what happened? And then obviously the first few days we didn't speak properly, so I told her like, oh, nothing, I barely replied to him or anything. So she was like, okay, whatever, like they're not speaking like that anymore.
Kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, so she kind of forgot about it and left us to it, and then we actually started speaking properly again,
and then she didn't know about that. It's kind of like we were secretly kind of speaking without her knowing. So even though Rez was 15 and I was 16, Rez kept talking about marriage. Like I always wanted to get married young, but obviously at the age of 16 it's like, what the hell is going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. So Rez always kept talking about marriage, and then there's something in Islam called istikhara. It's basically like when you pray for a good sign. If you don't know about that, then you can just Google it, but it's basically like when you pray, find out if something is good for you or not in the future, and you're just praying for a sign, like, should I go to this job? Let me do istikhara. Is it okay to marry this person? You're trying to get a sign from Allah, from God, and you're trying to get a sign to like, just like a confirmation, like, is this good for me or should I just stay away from it? Red's basically done this prayer for me, and what happened?
You guys have to do your own research because there's a lot to it, but basically, yeah, I done my prayer, and then
it comes with a dream.
Your sign comes inside a dream, or it can come when you're not dreaming as well. I can't remember exactly, but most of the time your prayer is answered with a dream basically. So yeah, I got a good sign. I don't remember the dream. All I know is I got a good sign and I saw the colours that I was supposed to. I got really happy after that, because that's such a big confirmation, you know, like there's a reason why I wanted, like I really wanted to marry him, and like we wanted to marry each other. I wanted to see if this is the right thing. Like I didn't want to continue speaking to him. It wasn't gonna work out. Yeah, basically that's why I done the prayer. I got a good sign, and then I told him about it and stuff, and then we got excited. We wanted to get married, but not in the moment. Like we wanted to get married a few years down the line. Like we knew we were too young at that point. We weren't thinking about like getting married like right there and then, but our intention was always like, okay, like as soon as we turn like 18 or something, let's like get our nikah done and stuff. And we used to speak about it all the time.
So all of this is happening behind the scenes. Rez's cousin doesn't really know that we're speaking, and then she found out that we're speaking because we're not trying to tell her things anymore, because it's like she's trying to stop like us from talking and like things like that. So she found out that we're speaking, and we're trying to hide it from her because she kept getting protective over me, as if like, you know, like we're something. But I didn't think of it as like she likes me or anything like that. Like Rez's cousin, I just thought like whatever, but
neither of us thought anything like that. We didn't even realize she was being that protective like over you. We did, but it wasn't like such a big thing because she put out religion in front of us, and obviously us being practicing at the time, that was a very big factor for us, like already anyway. You should put out forward like you guys shouldn't be speaking, it's like haram, blah blah blah, like it's not going to work out and stuff.
Basically it's okay for her to do it but not Rez to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah, but at the time we didn't think it like that. Because us being young, we were just thinking about us and thinking like, it's true, like we like each other, we shouldn't be speaking because it could lead to like more haram stuff. It bothered us so much because we wanted to be together but we didn't want to do haram.
After Rez's cousin told us to cut each other off, like you shouldn't be doing this, I asked Rez like, do you think we should cut each other off? And obviously cutting Rez off once was already like in her mind, like it's like it already happened once. But then I was asking Rez, do you think we should cut each other off? What she's saying is right, kind of thing, and we are really young. And Rez took it as like, I'm not asking her, I'm kind of telling her we're gonna cut each other off now. She didn't read it properly. She didn't think like I'm asking her. She thought I was telling her, kind of thing. So she kind of just went forward and we just cut each other off at that point. I blocked Rez, so Rez could at that point, I don't know if it's changed or not, but basically you could still read the conversations on the thing. You just couldn't message that person because they blocked you. I don't know how Snapchat is now, but that's how it used to be when we were like 15 or 16, and that time was when Snapchat was kind of new, was kind of trending, kind of thing. So basically Rez read over the messages and she realized that she misunderstood that I was asking her and not telling her, kind of thing. So because
all this was happening over messages, so I actually misread what he said, and I thought that he said that he wants to block me, and that made me really upset. But I was like, well, okay, because I know why you're doing it, and I know that this is for a good reason, so it has to be done, basically, kind of thing. So I agreed to it.
Just like I said in the beginning, I used to have a quote, like kind of Twitter account, and back before you could connect your Twitter to your Facebook, and basically everything that I put on Twitter, like all my quotes and stuff, it used to go to Facebook. Because I connected them both. So basically I used to have a page on Facebook with all my quotes as well. No name, no picture, nothing. It was just like a quotes kind of page. So then Rez started stalking this page, and she told her cousin like that she's kind of just like reading my Facebook like quotes and things like that. So then Rez's cousin, obviously being like the middle person, she came to me and started saying that, oh, Rez is stalking you, by the way. And bear in mind, I never used to check my Facebook, never check the messages, anything like that. My Twitter and my Facebook were connected, so I used to be a Twitter type of person, so all the quotes, everything I post is on Twitter, and because it's connected, it used to automatically post on Facebook. So I heard that Rez is stalking me on Facebook, so I thought to myself,
I wasn't stalking him, by the way, guys, but basically I was just going through Facebook, and then your post came up, I think, and then I screenshotted it and I sent it to my cousin. I was like, I really miss him, blah blah blah, like post on Facebook and stuff. I didn't know that. And then she ran to him and said, oh, she's stalking you, but I wasn't. I started going through your page afterwards, actually, because that one post came up, I think, and then I went and saw, like, I was just checking what you're up to and stuff.
So then Rez's cousin came and told me like, Rez is stalking your Facebook page. So I never checked Facebook, so I thought to myself, let me go and look at my own Facebook and see what she's looking at, and let's see how it comes out, let's see how it lays out. You know how like you check your own profile to see how other people would see it, kind of thing. So I thought, let me do that. So then next thing you know, I see a message from Rez. So I see a message, I never check my messages. This is such a coincidence. Like, I never check my messages on Facebook. So at that point, it was a Facebook page with no picture, nothing, just my quotes. And I never checked the messages because it's just like, it's kind of just connected kind of thing. I'd never checked Facebook messages at that time. So I just happened to click it on Facebook, and I see, oh, someone messaged, oh, it's Rez, what the hell? So I click it, and then Rez is kind of just saying like, oh, I misread what you said, I misunderstood.
Oh yeah, before Facebook I was on Snapchat reading all my chats, and then I read through the messages. I was just rereading with messages that that day I think I really missed him, and I was feeling so down. And I was reading through the messages, and I read it, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't even realise that's what he said. And then like, that's when I realised like I basically made him block me without us even deciding to block each other. Like, it was a misunderstanding basically. So I went to Facebook, and then I messaged him on there because I was blocked on Snapchat, so my messages wouldn't go through, and then I didn't have like Twitter or anything like that.
So then basically Rez popped up on Facebook, and she was just kind of just like, I think she messaged like a few hours ago, and she just like saying she misunderstood, and then she wrote the last message after a few hours, or maybe even the next day, I can't even remember. But basically she messaged saying like, if you don't reply by this time, then I will know that you don't want this to happen, kind of thing. And obviously it's just all a misunderstanding. So I read the message, and I was kind of like, oh, I didn't know that you misunderstood. I thought that like you just agreed that you wanted to do this. Yeah, at this point we ended up realizing that we made a misunderstanding, and then I unblocked her on Snapchat, and we started speaking on Snapchat again. This was behind Rez's cousin's back, like she didn't know that this was happening. So being young and stupid, we thought to ourselves, maybe if we don't speak every day, it will be more, no, we didn't think it would be halal to speak not every day, but we thought maybe we will get less sin if we speak every single day. So we decided that rather than speaking every single day, maybe we'll get less sin if we just speak on just weekends, kind of thing. So rather than talking 7 days a week, we'll speak 2 days a week, and maybe like we'll just get like less sin that way. So we just thought of it like, let's try, and we can't not talk, so let's try to minimize the talking. So we went forward and we just started to speak on just weekends. So after speaking on just weekends, it turned like in between the weekdays I would really miss Rez. I would post quotes and things like that. I ended up like posting stuff on my Snapchat story directed towards her, kind of thing. And then
throughout the week, and I'd see and I'd be like, oh, but we would never like pop up to each other throughout the week, because that was a rule that we made, like we're not going to speak throughout the week, and when it comes to weekend, we'll allow ourselves to like catch up and get to like talk to each other then. Just minimize it basically. Basically. So we put this rule in place, but then I happened to send like a snap during the weekday, and then I think Rez ended up replying to it, or the other way around. I really can't remember. It's like 5 years ago. This carried on for a long time though. We didn't speak for a very long time. I mean, we spoke only on weekends, and we kept that rule up for a very long time. Like, honestly, how long was it? I can't even remember. It was, but like, it was just a message. 4 or 5 months. at least.
Just on message.
Yeah.
So then after, like, it kept making me sad, like, I can't talk to you during the weekdays. I started, like, sending snaps of, like, what I'm doing during the day. And then it ended up, like, obviously we ended up replying. And then we ended up breaking the rule of just speaking on the weekends kind of thing. Yeah. And we ended up just speaking in general because it became so hard to just speak on weekends.
So hard not to speak, yeah. We used to feel so, like, depressed.
Yeah, it was
almost
so
depressed.
sad. Like,
I wouldn't say depressed, but it was, like, such a depressing feeling not being able to speak to like him, knowing
that we're already posting on the story and stuff. Rez doesn't even post on her Snapchat story, but she was posting just to show me what she's doing, kind of thing.
Literally,
like that's the stage it got to. But so we were basically communicating indirectly, kind of thing. We started doing that after a while. It got too much.
Oh, that's so sad.
Rez's cousin found out that we were speaking, and she tried to. Yeah, she basically found out again that we're speaking.
She was so upset after finding out. At the time, we didn't think, oh, why is she so upset? But like, because
we just thought she cared.
Like about us and like religion, blah blah blah.
We didn't know that like she had some sort of feeling towards me. We just thought like she cares about Rez. That's why she's saying it. We didn't think anything of me, and I didn't think anything of that. Thinking of like a sister kind of like relationship. You know, I didn't think anything more of it. So she started using religion again as a reason for us to not speak.
Yeah. It was a real reason, obviously, and that's why it did work, because we like,
believed that as well.
Yeah,
you know?
Like that's what we believed too, like, and that's what we wanted to follow, because
and it's at the back of our mind every day.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But like she tried to use that as an excuse, basically.
Yeah, to do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
So then after a while, Rez's cousin realized that this isn't gonna work anymore. They're actually just speaking. So she said the real reason that she doesn't want us to speak. So Rez's cousin and Rez got into an argument, and she like let out the truth of how she feels. She was kind of just like,
he's my best friend, not your best friend. I met him first. I found him first,
kind of thing. And obviously Rez is just like, whoa, what the hell?
That's when it clicked for me, and that's when I finally realized, like, all this time you were using religion as a reason, trying to persuade us not to speak, like, but using religion.
Yeah. But she wants
when
to speak,
in fact it was actually you not wanting us to speak, because he's somehow only allowed to be your friend or something.
Yeah. Okay, so at this point we kind of figured out what was going on.
Yeah.
So me and Rez continued to speak, and I cut her cousin off because I realized like what she was getting onto, and it was just like kind of like I obviously didn't want that. I don't know what the hell she wanted, but like me and Rez continued to speak, and I just cut her cousin off.
Some people say I snatched you from my cousin, yeah, but like him and my cousin, like
I didn't feel anything. I thought of it as like
they never spoke like that ever.
Yeah, even though she might have felt a certain way.
And with us it was instant. We are like from day one we started speaking like that.
Then that's how it ended. So that's how we're gonna end part 1. So that's how me and Rez, that's how we met, and the things that we went through in the beginning. So we didn't want to do just like a how we met or like just like a 5-minute kind of thing, because like you guys need to know like all these years what we went through, like how we wanted to get married and all these things, and there's a lot more details. So
a lot more, yeah.
So this is just part 1. I'm sure it's already like nearly 30 minutes, so I don't want to make it into like a 1-hour video. I'm going to split it into 2 parts. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. You guys really wanted to see this for a long time, but this isn't the end of the story. You guys need to stay tuned for part 2. If you're watching this newly, it'll be up in 2 days, and if you're watching this in the like a few years later, a few months later, then just check it out. It's on my channel, part 2. Can't believe that we finally like got it out after like nearly,
because it involves another person, and obviously we're not saying if it's an older cousin or anything like that, because we don't want to bait that person out, because we don't want our family members to know who we're speaking about either. It could literally be any of my cousins, so you know.
Yeah. So we didn't want to say it for that reason. That's why we held it in, or nearly 2 years of our like marriage. So that's really why we held it in. Otherwise we would have told you, because it doesn't involve another person, but it involves another person. We didn't say their name. We didn't say who it was, if it's an older cousin, a younger cousin. When we first got our nikah done, I actually put on my story like what video ideas would you want us to do, and that cousin that we're talking about, Rez's cousin, she actually came and she said on my story like, tell them how you met and things like that. So she actually wanted us to do this video. That's the reason why. That was always in the back of our head, like seems like she's okay with us doing it, but we held it back because we felt like, should we do it, kind of thing. So
she doesn't know all these details, but we've never like confronted her about it, because we just don't think that there's really no point, because it's not going to lead to anywhere. We're not going to get what like the apology that you know,
we don't want an apology.
Want an apology.
We're married, we have a baby on the way, we don't care about those things.
We're happy, we've moved on, so you know.
Yeah, so that's kind of why we kind of just want to push it back as far as we can kind of thing. So if you're new to this channel and you just found this video, you happen to find this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, but subscribe to the channel so you guys can watch part 2. After my mom found out, she was really shocked and she was just telling me like, how can you do this? I really wanted this to happen, but like it wasn't the outcome that I was expecting. We're gonna end the video here. Stay tuned for part 2. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time, and peace.
Girl, I see your face everywhere. When I'm going out, you'll be there. 'Cause everything reminds me of you. I can't take no more. Girl, I think I'm losing my mind. Try to go to work, but I lost track of time. 'Cause everyone keep looking like you.